Today, on the special Memorial Day weekend edition of Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, it's grassroots versus billionaire. Plus some lefty rifles and shotguns you may not know about. Have something to say? Call 866-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
And welcome to Gun Talk. I am glad that you could be with us on this Memorial Day weekend. We're going to be playing a bit of military music, patriotic music, as we go through the show today. And we'll be talking a good bit about that. Of course, Memorial Day, when you are asked, I hope that you know it's more than hot dogs and beaches and swimming pools and such. It's a day when we remember those who have served, those who we lost, those who possibly lost part of themselves, those who came back injured, those who did not come back at all. Question for you, who do you know who will go die for you? Not a philosophical question. Members of the military. Young men and women who, for whatever reason, whatever their personal drive is, whatever brought them to that decision point, decide they want to go serve, they want to go help people, they're going to go somewhere. If you don't want to fight ISIS in the streets here, then you need to say thank you to someone who went and fought to stop them from coming here. Memorial Day. Take a moment, think about it, think what it's about. Thank a veteran. Think about the incredible losses, the families. Just something for you to chew on. We'll be talking a little bit about that as we go along. I had a great week. I got to tell you, it was terrific. We went up to Barry, Illinois, to Passa Park. It was a media event there with a lot of companies in the firearms industry showing some products, and we may even have a couple of interviews from that we'll share with you today. And that was a great time there. And then they hopped in the Bonanza and hopped over actually landed in Jefferson City, Missouri, drove up to Columbia, Missouri, and were there for 2 days for the Bianchi Cup. The Bianchi Cup, if you're not familiar with it, it was described to me by a number of the people there as simply the hardest, most difficult, probably most prestigious handgun shooting competition in the world. There were people there from all over the U.S., but also from Germany, New Zealand, Australia, Barbados, Japan, and those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head that I met. What's interesting, it's like summer camp for a lot of these folks. They get together at this. A lot of them know each other through the shooting sports, and they get together every year at the Bianchi Cup. It's so difficult. I'm sitting there talking with Rob Latham and Doug Koenig and Bruce Pyatt and Jim Clark. I mean, the rock stars of shooting. And I'm asking, what is it that's so hard about it? And it doesn't look that hard till you go shoot it. And they all said the same thing. It's interesting. They said, look, in a speed event, in a 3-gun type event, or a USPSA, that type of, an IPSC type of event, if you mess up on a stage, on the next stage, you just work harder you reduce your time, you go faster. You can't do that in the Bianchi Cup. There are only 4 events. Each event is timed. The stages are timed. So you have, for instance, 5 seconds to shoot 6 plates. If you knock all 6 plates down, you score 6. If you don't get them down in the allotted time, then you don't get it. If you leave a target up, you miss a plate, it's just gone. You can't get it back by shooting faster on the next stage because it's simply an allotted amount of time. You have to knock all your targets down or score points. So the pressure's on every single time you shoot. It was fascinating. It was wonderful. I'll tell you what we were doing. We were shooting a GUNTALK television episode there, and our story that we were working on is families who shoot together, working with Chris and Michelle Cerrito and their son Colton, who did very well in the junior competition. Colton had his 18th birthday while he was there. This is how much he liked. He's been going to this since he was 13. How much does he like it there? How much does he like going back there? He always misses the end of the year. He always has his birthday there. And this year he decided he wanted to be at the Bianchi Cup instead of having his birthday at home, instead of being there for high school graduation, instead of going to the prom. For him, competitive shooting at the Bianchi Cup is where he goes to meet his friends, to see his friends again. His friends from Barbados and Australia and New Zealand and Japan and people that he's gotten to know from all over. And there are all these families there with these incredible young people, young men and women who are so focused, not driven, but focused. They've been competing side by side with the very best shooters. You may be standing right next to Doug Koenig or Bruce Pyatt when you're shooting, and those people will help you. And so they've been given responsibility. You're shooting real guns. You have to behave correctly. You have to obey the rules. And they rise to the occasion. It was a wonderful experience watching these folks. And to bring this back full circle to Memorial Day, one of the shooters there were a number of wounded vets there. I actually had, out of the blue, one came up to me and said, just want to thank you, and as if he should be thanking me. Give me a break. I should be thanking him, okay? But he said, just want to thank you for pulling the curtain back on the Wounded Warrior Project. Those of us who've been involved and have been wounded warriors know about them, and I appreciate you telling the world about them. That was interesting. There's a fella on the Smith & Wesson shooting team. Trevor Balcom shoots on the Smith & Wesson shooting team. Trevor was a medically retired Chief Warrant Officer 3. He was a Black Hawk pilot on his 4th deployment. They crashed the Black Hawk on a night assault mission in Afghanistan. And he's in a wheelchair. And let me just tell you, at the Bianchi Cup, Trevor's shooting all the stages from his wheelchair. And there are a couple of the stages there where people shoot standing up, and then as you move further back, you have the option of drawing and dropping down to prone and shooting that way. Because, of course, you're shooting at 50 yards, shooting a handgun, if you can get a rest, so much the better. And Trevor announced that on one stage he was going to go prone, and the crowds gathered, because everybody knows him anyway. And I'll be damned if he didn't throw himself out of a chair, on the ground, shoot, and when it was over, his buddies picked him up and put him back in the chair. It was something to see. It was pretty special, and you realize how special some of these people are who go off and do what they do. So I guess what I would offer you is just consider what Memorial Day is really about. If you get a chance to talk to a veteran, thank him, thank her, and just keep them in your thoughts. All right, we're going to kick the doors open. Looking for your range reports, looking for your thoughts out there. So our number is 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN, or if you prefer, just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in there.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
Who will you trust with your guns and valuables? Liberty safes are the best built and most secure safes on the planet. They sell more gun safes than any other brand. It's about trust earned through performance. If your Liberty safe is damaged by fire or attempted break-in, they'll send a new safe right to your home. Protection from thieves and fire. Trust the #1 maker of quality gun safes. LibertySafe.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Experts agree that the low-range variable rifle scope is best for most situations. Now, Trijicon offers a stunning 1-to-6 power variable in the AccuPoint line. Featuring a battery-free illuminated reticle, superior glass clarity, and rugged construction, it's the one scope you need for hunting and competition. Long eye relief, aircraft-grade aluminum housing, manual brightness override. See the 1-to-6 power AccuPoint at Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
All right, back with you. 866 Talk Gun gets you in there. Looking for your range reports, your thoughts, something you've been shooting. We've had several people now. They've gotten their GT20s, their SIG pistols in 10 millimeter, and some have shot them. They really are enjoying them. Some have just gotten them, haven't gotten them out to the range yet. I had a note from Alan. He says, don't have a range report, but I do have a truck report. See, I had to sit in the truck and just hold it and grin. Said if this rain ever stops in Houston, I'll get it out to the range. Yeah, Houston's been hammered, just hammered with the rain. Let's see, court cases, very interesting. In Washington, D.C., court ruled that Washington, D.C.'s carry permit scheme, which is really all it is. Of course, they lost lawsuit on that. And they said, well, okay, yeah, we'll allow people to carry here, but we're just going to make it hard. We're going to require people to show us good reason before we will issue them a carry permit. Good reason. Well, you can imagine what happens. Nobody has a good reason. I'm sorry, that's just not a good enough reason. Well, the court said, you can't do that. That clearly violates the Second Amendment. So, I mean, U.S. District Judge Frederick Skellen Jr., he struck down D.C.'s requirement that gun permit applications provide a good reason to own a firearm. And then he set up a pretty aggressive schedule to speed up the granting of permits to all the plaintiffs. Very interesting. We'll see what happens there. Of course, the D.C. Police Chief, Kathy Lanier, has been anti-gun from the beginning, and see if she throws out more roadblocks. We'll see what happens with there. By the way, this was a Second Amendment Foundation, Alan Gottlieb suit. Also, it puts into question New York's system where you have to show good cause, good reason. Now, here's something. Talk about immoral. They will issue a carry permit to you if you carry large sums of cash. So you can have a gun to protect money. You can have a gun to protect cash, but you can't have a gun to protect kids. You can't have a gun to protect your children, but you can to protect your money. Does anybody see a problem with that? Does anybody have a problem with that? I mentioned that we were at at Barry, Illinois, at a media event where we were looking at a lot of different cool things, and I got to see some interesting products that I had not really had much time with. And one of those was adult air guns from the folks with Gammo. Pretty darn interesting, where they have some that the brake barrel kind. They have two different kinds, one that has spring powered and one that's pneumatic powered. And then they have the full-blown pneumatic guns where you can use like a bicycle pump, although it's not a regular bicycle pump. It pumps it up really hard. Or you can actually fill the chamber with a scuba tank. So that's pretty cool. I'll tell you what, just 2 minutes here. I want you to hear a little bit about the adult air guns there. All right, we're talking with Brady Arview, and we're talking about adult air guns here. What has changed with air guns?
Well, the big thing is velocity and accuracy. We can make air guns now that shoot up to 1,500 feet per second, but you can take all kinds of small game. You can. This isn't the plinking air guns anymore to where it's not accurate. Very accurate, as you've seen today a little bit.
All right, looking at the rifles we're shooting over here, of course, we're standing under a metal roof in the rain, but the rifles we're shooting, you got different kind of propulsion systems. Talk about that.
Yeah, so you have brake barrel, and some of those have springs, so when you break the barrel, the spring compresses, and those are spring action guns. And then you also have the piston gun, so it's a brake barrel with a piston, and that gives you more of a recoil like a real gun, rather than spring gives you an up and down recoil. And then you have pneumatic, which is air pressure up to 3,000 PSI, and you can get multiple shots out of those at a high velocity.
These are not just plinking guns. I mean, you can use them at home, and you can have fun with them in the backyard and all that, but you can actually go hunting with these, can't you?
Oh, that's correct. I mean, small game varmints all the way up to a coyote-sized game. I've got a gun being built for me right now where I can shoot a coyote at 50 yards. So, and that's a pneumatic gun, but just the brake barrel guns, rabbits, squirrels, coons, those size game, all day long, out to 50 yards. Not an issue.
And I see that actually one of them we're shooting here has a suppressor. You actually make those for a lot of your guns, don't you?
We do, correct. A lot of guys, men, women, kids, they don't want the noise. They're shooting in their backyard, practice, target shooting, or maybe they have a varmint problem. They have squirrels getting into their roof and things like that. They don't want their neighbors to know that they're shooting them in town. So they make about the sound of a snap is about all it is.
Amazing stuff. As you say, this is not your granddaddy's air gun.
That's right. It's not your granddaddy's air gun anymore. These are, these things, they'll kill some animals if you want them to.
More information, what, Gammo?
Yeah, go to GammoUSA.com.
GammoUSA.com. Thanks, Brady. All right, that's our quick interview there. I do want to go to our caller, line 3. Jim is with us out of Shreveport, Louisiana, has a range report for us. Hey, Jim, what you got?
How you doing today, Tom?
Great.
We've got a new Seiko Grey Wolf in 7mm Remington Magnum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it only took me about 10 weeks to get it.
So how's it shoot?
It is absolutely a dream. It will be an heirloom gun I have, so I will probably never part with it. And I put a Swarovski,
no kidding,
3x5 by 18 by 50 on top of it with the micro sight adjustments, and it's cutting holes.
Let me ask you a question. What made you decide on the Sako?
I just was looking I'm kind of one of those people that just kind of want something a little different, and I really wanted to step into high end, maybe without having a custom rifle being built for me. I wanted to go into high end a little bit, and a friend of mine had one, and it's just so silky smooth, and the fit and finish is just par none for basically what I would call an off the rack gun. It really is superb.
It's funny, you use the exact same word that I use about those rifles. You said smooth. And every time I think of a Sako, I think of you just lift the bolt and it slides back and you go, wow, there's no grit, it's as though someone spent 10 hours polishing it, but it just comes out of the box that way.
It does, and I've had to do zero to it. Out of the box, I loaded 147 grain combined technology bullets sitting on nickel case, Federal primer, Magnum primers, 4380 powder, and we put it down range and 100 yards first 3 rounds. Once we got it dialed up, it took me about 3 rounds to get it dialed up. After that, it was cutting holes at 100, and then on top of it, covered it with a dime.
Wow, and with a 7 mag.
Yes, sir.
There are a lot of people who tell you, well, a 7 mag really isn't that accurate. And you go, really? Well, let's see. All the bullet holes are touching, so I don't know what else you wanted to do.
And at 200, I could at 200, I could cover it with a 50-cent piece and have room left over.
Wow. Well, I
but,
see what you mean.
When you look at these, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But now you have to think about when you make the investment in what you've made in this rifle and the optic and the rifle, there is a certain expectation that you are kind of expecting. Being a shooter, somebody that goes and practice more than 5 rounds a year, there's something that
True.
And the trigger is just absolutely, it just breaks clean. I put the trigger full gauge on it. It breaks clean at 3.1 pounds, and it did it 10 times in a row with maybe a variance in the 10th of a pound.
That's just, it sounds just pretty close to perfect to me, because I love the caliber. I like the trigger pull, the way it's set up, and I love that smooth bolt action. So, Jim, I appreciate the range report on the Sacco. Tell you what, you keep listening, Jim. I appreciate the call. Keep listening, because we're going to have somebody on here in just a few minutes from Sacco, Tico, from Beretta, and they're going to have some more information about those rifles. They're doing some really interesting stuff. Well, as I say, in just a few minutes, we're going to have the folks in here, because they're going to correct okay, I made a mistake. I screwed up. You guys caught me. Last week, I had a caller ask about a Tika Sacco, and I said, yeah, just call the folks at SIG. Wrong. No, that'd be who you call for Sauer, but it's not who you call for Sacco. It's another S, but it's not the same thing. When we come back, we'll have some information also about ammo, a couple of really cool rifles. We'll have your range report. If you'd like to get in line and give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Celebrating Memorial Day weekend as we remember our fallen heroes who have died defending our freedom. This is Gun Talk.
All righty, back with you here, Tom Gresham. Of course, you can join us anytime, 866-TALK-GUN. Shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. On Twitter, I'm at GunTalk, and it is your last week to enter for a chance to win the Trigicon giveaway. We're giving away, well, very cool stuff. The TR-25C, whatever it is, AccuPoint. It's a 1-to-6 power rifle scope, standard duplex crosshair with a green dot, 30-millimeter tube. All you have to do is go to guntalk.com/win. This thing is, oh my gosh, this is $1,600 optic. You need to enter for this thing. Go to guntalk.com/win. Somebody's going to win this. I wish I could. I am prohibited from winning this thing, but I would. That's perfect for me. 1-to-6, I love those things. We just had a caller telling us, he gave us a range report. Talk about your perfect lead-in. He gave us a range report for his Sacco Grey Wolf he just bought. Said 100 yards, first 3 shots. Once he got it sighted in, all the holes are touching with a 7 mag. Hard to beat that. Well, last week I screwed up. I had somebody call in asking about a rifle. I said, yeah, call this company. No, wrong company. But fortunately, my good friend Rafe contacted me and says, hey, Tom. So Rafe Bennet joins us right now along with Kari Cook from Beretta, the correct company. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, Tom. We're doing well. Thanks for having us.
Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Now, Beretta, Sacco, Tika, and what is this I hear about ammunition?
Absolutely. Sacco in Finland for a long time has been making rifles and has been making ammunition actually for almost as long. And we've been launched it more recently in the U.S. market a couple of years ago, and we're really trying to make some of that. So anything you need, from rifles to ammunition, hunting to target rifles, they've got them, and we're happy to bring them to the American market.
Well, I said last week, I think that Sacco and especially even Tika are like the best kept secrets out there for really good guns that perform, I think, beyond their price point. I guess in the vernacular of today, what's up with that? Why is this not known any better for as good as these guns are?
It's a great question. Obviously, that's Kari and my job is to fix that, and we appreciate your help in doing that. Sacco's been making terrific rifles actually since 1919 when they were founded in Helsinki, Finland. The company's gone through a number of owners, everything from the Finnish Red Cross right after World War II to Nokia and most recently Beretta in 2000, and has been making just dynamite bolt-action rifles that entire time. growing, in fact, from making about 20,000 rifles in 2000 to over 100,000 a couple years ago. So the secret is starting to get out, but it's really the finished attention to detail and really quest for perfection and precision that has made the rifles so very good. And actually, Kari can take us through some of the features of each rifle that let that happen.
Well, what makes them so smooth, Kari? Because our caller was saying the bolt is just so smooth and the trigger pull is just perfect. And how do you guys do that?
The reason that the Sako and Tikka bolts are so smooth is due to the method called broaching. Instead of drilling in, they actually remove the material. So the only contact point that you have on the Sako and Tikka rifles is your locking lugs. Unlike some of the other manufacturers that have the oversized bolts, you don't have all those contact points. So that's what gives you smooth as glass action.
Huh. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Now, let me ask you this. When people are looking at, how do you explain the difference? Because they say, well, you guys have Sako, you also have Tikka. Is that the same lines? Is it two lines? How do I choose between them? How do you position them in the marketplace?
We do have Sako and Tikka, and one thing to know between the two is all the barrels are the same. When a barrel is made, they do not know if it's going to go on a Sako rifle or a Tikka rifle. Now, the Tikkas are more of your bargain rifles. They're a great bang for your buck. Your Sako rifles are more of the closest you'll get to a custom-made rifle right out of the box.
Okay, so a Tikka, what you're getting is the high quality, but at a pretty attractive price. I mean, and now when I say attractive price, I'm talking about less than we would have paid a few years ago for your average run-of-the-mill rifle. And, of course, now we got a lot of bolt-action rifles that are competing down at lower prices, which is good because we got some really good options out there. But the Tikka, I keep using the word sleeper because as soon as people pick it up, they go, wow, I had no idea. I bet you guys get that all the time.
We do get that all the time, and it is incredible. Once you get them in your hand, you work the bolt on them, you can't believe how incredibly smooth it is, how great the rifle feels, how balanced it is. And for every Tikka, before it leaves the factory, it has to shoot an MOA group, 3-shot MOA, plus 2 proof rounds. So every rifle that leaves the Sako factory is fired and tested for precision.
It is impressive. Let me ask you, because I actually have more to talk to you guys about than I had time in this segment. Can you guys stay with us for another segment? Just hold you over the break here?
Absolutely. We'd love to.
Okay, let's do that. We're going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back. We're going to talk Beretta, Sako, Tikka. It's a massive company. And, of course, Beretta, old company. So we'll be doing that as soon as we come back. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Long-range shooting is challenging and fun, but most precision rifle bullets aren't right for hunting. Nosler's AccuBond LR long-range bullets are designed specifically for hunters. They combine the incredible on-game performance AccuBond bullets have delivered around the world with incredible long-range properties. High ballistic coefficients make for bullets which shoot flat and defy the winds. The sleekest, flattest shooting, bonded hunting bullet ever designed. Nosler's AccuBond LR. For more info, visit nosler.com.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com. In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. shoot better, stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
All right, back with you. We're talking with Rafe, Bennet, and Kari Cook from Beretta, Seiko, Tika, Sako. Oh, here's a question for you. How many times, or do you just not ever even correct anybody when they say Seiko anymore? Just let it go.
We'll take anything we can get because we're trying to get a little more awareness. But Sako is the correct pronunciation, and
okay,
we can't even tell you what it stands for in Finnish, but Sako is how they pronounce it.
Well, it's interesting. I bet people don't have any idea. Finland, even though they have a very small military service there, they have like 15,000 in their military, but 1 million in their reserves. So in Finland, military service is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell from their history, they've felt like they've been at a very precarious point in various times, especially at the beginning of World War II with the invasion of the Soviet Union. And they actually take that stuff pretty seriously even today. And you add to that a hunting culture that's very similar to that in the U.S. You have a lot of people that know how to shoot over there. And certainly the folks that build these rifles take that very seriously. They do a lot of hunting themselves. And that transitions over to their military folks in Finland as well. So
you get some fallout or basically the benefits of that military side when it comes to the sporting arms. And then, as you say, they got serious hunters over there. They shoot what they call elk, what we call moose, as I remember. So
yes, a lot of moose. And we've had, actually, Kari and I both had the chance to go over there and take their moose hunting test of the moose target that runs at, about 20 miles an hour, I think. And you've got to put a couple of shots on it in order to even get your hunting license to go out and try to take on the.
And so if you can't qualify, you don't get the license, right?
That's right. That's right. It's a real practical test.
Very interesting. All right. So now, coach me up here. Does Beretta own Sako and Tika now?
They do. So in 2000, Beretta Holdings, which is the parent company of Beretta Italy and Beretta USA, bought Sako from Nokia, actually, at the time, and began a series of measures to restructure them and add capacity, but keep the tried and true quality that they are so famous for. So that's one of those facts that they've been able to increase capacity about 5 times and continue to grow it, so we can share this secret of some of the best rifles out there.
Well, one of the things that both companies do that I personally appreciate so much is you can get Tika and you can get Sako bolt-action rifles in left-handed. Congratulations.
Absolutely, Tom. We thought of you, and we know you're a left-eye dominant, left-handed shooter, like so many folks. And in fact, John Ryan, who's going to be with us there, shotgun product manager, is that way. And so it's important to be able to have that option. And how many SKUs do we have, Kari?
Currently, total, Beretta USA imports 265 SKUs, and of those, 31 are for our left-handed shooters.
All right. That is outstanding. Well, those of us who shoot from the left shoulder, we appreciate that. And for those who may not know, I am very much right-handed, but very much left-eye dominant. So I shoot handguns right-handed, long guns left-handed. Oh, I have to share with you guys something I don't think anybody's ever seen before. I was just at the Bianchi Cup this past week. There was a guy shooting the Bianchi Cup with a Beretta Model 92. It may be the first time it's ever happened.
Well, we've had some terrific developments of that.
Well, he was saying he's a Marine and he teaches shooting in the Marines. He says, well, so I thought I probably ought to use, in the competition what I use when I'm training Marines. So, well, that's pretty cool.
That's very cool, especially this year because Beretta is celebrating the 30th anniversary of the M9, of providing the M9 to the U.S. military. So it's been a great year for the 92. It's great to hear that it's working its way back into some competition.
That is good. All right, so obviously you got Tika at the lower price point, the Sakos at the upper price point, and then when you get to Berettas, I have to tell people because they're listening right now. I made the mistake of going to your website to prep for this. Memorial Day sale, up to 82% off. You guys have cost me money again.
Well, we apologize. You are the great facilitator, so it's great to return the favor to you.
That's true. I was doing self-enabling here. So, yeah, but you got great stuff on the website for the weekend, pretty good prices. And, of course, when you go, and I told somebody, I said, I may have ruined my keyboard drooling all over it, because when you get to the higher-end Beretta over and unders, those things are works of art.
They really are, and you hit the nail on the head. That's something that Beretta is extremely famous for. We often say that most folks either know Beretta for its shotguns or for its pistols. Probably very few that know it for both, but we do have a tremendously broad product line, including bolt-action rifles. But over and under, semi-auto shotguns, anything you could want in those areas, we usually have it covered, including some left-handed shotguns, semi-auto shotguns for the left-handed shooters.
Is it true that Beretta is the oldest company in continuous operation in the world?
It is certainly the oldest manufacturer and the oldest firearms company. I want to say there may be one or two other companies that have almost as old, but yeah, since at least 1526, we've got documents of basically sales documentation all the way back to then, and I think probably another 50 years earlier than that we're still trying to record. But yeah, we're looking at nearly 500 years of continuous operation and continuous ownership by the Beretta family as well. Still
owned by the family, yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing some time. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say they're actually actively involved, which is kind of a treat and probably unexpected to most folks. But we have Franco Beretta and Pietro Beretta, the sons of Ugo Gosali Beretta, come down quite a bit and are actively involved in managing the company. And I think they are the 15th generation. And Franco has a son who is the 16th generation. So it is quite a family company.
Now, didn't they not just move or establish some new facilities in, is it Tennessee or Alabama?
Yes, indeed. Beretta USA, as part of the the unfortunate backlash of misguided laws, let me say, in the last couple of years, the Berettas decided to, rather than expand in Maryland where we needed some more space, we decided to build a factory and move our R&D department to Gallatin, Tennessee. So that's actually underway. The factory is under construction, and this time next year we should be operating all of our manufacturing and our R&D out of that area.
Okay, I get to say something that you don't get to say, okay? When the politicians tell Mr. Beretta, oh, you're not going to do that, you're bluffing, and I'm thinking, you really don't understand the Berettas. The Berettas don't bluff. When they say, if you pass this law, we are going to take operations out of the state, that's what they said, so that's what they did.
That's right. So, they're able to control their company and do what they feel is best, and moving to a place that has a better appreciation of the Second Amendment is certainly what they chose to do. So we're excited about that, though. It's going to open up some new opportunities for us as a company as well.
Excellent. Well, tell people where they can find out more about Sacco, Antica, and Beretta.
So for Sacco, the best place to go is the Sacco.fi or Tika.fi website. Those are the websites run by Sacco over in Finland, but they have all the products that we sell here. We're actually in the process of redoing those websites to make them better representative of what you can get in the U.S. So give us a call or let us know if you have something particular. And then Beretta.com.
Beretta USA.
Beretta.com.
Yeah, BerettaUSA.com or Beretta.com. That'll work. Hey, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for letting me make it right after I got it wrong last week. Great company, great people. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk. All right, back with you. Straight to the phones. Let's go to line 2. Tom's with us out of Omaha, Nebraska. Hey, Tom, what's going on with your laser you have there?
Well, I took some friends out from the office to go and fire out on a range out of a friend's place. Started out with a 22 Walter suppressed, and then went up to the Beretta ARX 160, and ended up using the my Kari gun, which is a Taurus 1 PT 111, and had a green laser light on it, and that thing was impossible to get on target. It seemed like got a couple shots. I mean, we hit the target, but not where we were aiming at, it seemed like.
Now, are you sighting it in? Or are you adjusting the aiming point for the laser?
Well, we didn't do anything out there because I didn't bring any tools or anything and didn't want to mess around because they's guys are not, they've never shot. And I just wanted them to go out there and have some fun shooting pistols, and never been out there shooting a pistol or anything. So I'll do it again when I get a chance.
All right, let me. You may already know all this, but let me just run real quickly through it. Obviously, your laser has adjustments for windage and elevation, so it'll go left and right, up and down. You do not have to be at the range to do this. You can do this at home. Empty gun, completely check it, make sure it's completely unloaded. Just look over the sights, line up the sights on a doorknob or something, and adjust the laser until it's on the doorknob while the sights are on the doorknob. Done deal. Yeah,
well, that's what I thought I did when I originally put it on there. And, maybe it got knocked out of sight alignment or something, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do it again eventually here. But I just wanted to, I wanted to see, and I think I heard one of your 1 minute range reports, and you were talking about sighting in lasers. So I think I read, heard of some of that. But
now this is the Viridian.
Pardon me.
This is the Viridian.
Yeah.
Okay, and because it clamps onto the gun, the other, of course, thing to check is to make sure it's really on there solid, because if you get any kind of movement, boy, you're hosed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check it out again, but I just wanted to get these guys from the office. They've never fired guns before, and I never used my suppressor since I just got it for my 22, so I wanted to use it on to see how it worked.
Right. And it's a good idea. Getting people started with a laser is a great way to do it, because now they don't have to worry about front sight, rear sight, target. They just look at the target, put the laser on, and it goes. But that kind of goes out the window if the thing's not sighted in. So I feel your pain. Yeah, and good point. Jim says, hey, and they also have more fun if they hit stuff. So that's always the case. Tom, look, I appreciate that. I think you'll be able to get that done. Just double check the mounts, make sure that it's not wiggling on there, and then get it sighted in at home. I like to sight in with the dot. When I look over the iron sights, I don't want to see the laser. I want it to be just below the front sight. That way, when I come up with the gun, I'm going to go to the iron sights. If for whatever reason I can't see the iron sights, I will simply raise my head a little bit, and then the laser will appear right behind the front sight, and it'll be within an inch of the point of aim. So that'll work for you there. Let's see, guys. Do we have time to get Brian in here? Nope, not enough time. Okay. Tell you what, we're going to hold you over, Brian. Don't go anywhere. We'll get you in here. And if anybody else would like to join us, we are going to be open lines for a while. So it's going to be, well, pretty much anything you want to talk about. If there's a gun you're thinking about buying or one you just bought that you want to tell us about, we'd love to get range reports. Or if you just want to have some thoughts on Memorial Day and our veterans, certainly a good time to talk about that. Now, and yeah, I get it. It's vacation time and pool time, party time, beach time, barbecue, all that, and that's all good. But I guess I would just ask you to keep in mind what Memorial Day is really all about. So when we come back, we're going to be taking your calls. We have several people who have gotten their GT20s, their SIG P220 in the 10 millimeter. And they like the looks of them, and they say they shoot well. But if you have one, I'd like to get somebody to call in and say, hey, this is how it shoots, this is how it feels. How's it working for you? Some really good stuff. By the way, Bruce Gray, of course, was instrumental in getting the 10 millimeter project going with SIG. Saw him at the Bianchi Cup. Man, can that guy shoot. He's also in charge of the SIG shooting team. So there you go. 866-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk. Be right back.